Welcome class 12 to the online session of your new week. So we will continue with our chapter 2, in which we have discussed the principles or the principle of management. So today we are going to discuss the principles of management which are scientific in nature. And these scientific principles are given by Frederick Wilson Taylor, who is an American mechanical engineer who belongs to an era of industrial revolution. So in this, the Taylor, who is known as the father of scientific management, have given 4 scientific principles of management. So the meaning says it implies conducting of business activities according to standardized tools, methods, and trade personnel in order to increase output, improve its quality, and reduce cost and waste through effective and optimum utilization of resources. Hence, it stresses that there is always one best method to maximize efficiency. This method can be developed through study and analysis. So Taylor focused on the main thing, which says that you should exactly know what you want you're meant to do, and then see that they do in the best and the cheapest way. So today we will discuss the principles of scientific management. As you can see in the flow chart, I have given you the 4 principles. The foremost and the first principle is science, not rule of thumb; harmony, not discord; cooperation, not individualism; development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. So these 4 principles will be discussed by me, so make it more clear to you. So before we start the explanation for these principles, I want to clear you the definition given by the Taylor. That is, scientific management means knowing exactly what you want men to do and seeing that they do it in the best and cheapest way. So as I told you in the meaning itself, that scientific management means the manager should know what he wants from his man or the human resource who is working for him, and then seeing that they do it in the best and cheapest way. And it is the duty of the manager and the management to see that what they are doing in the best way and by not wasting resources, and it is the cheapest way or the way in which less expenses has been incurred. So our first scientific principle is science, not rule of thumb. So it is clear from this term only, science, not rule of thumb. It means that we should not follow what has been done earlier. We have to make changes according to the new environment. We should see, we should judge, we should take experience from the earlier things what has been happened, but we should not just ruthlessly follow them. So there should be scientific study and analysis of each element of a job in order to replace the old rule of thumb approach or hit and miss method. We should constantly experimenting to develop new techniques which make the work much simpler, easier, and quicker. Scientific method involves investigation of traditional methods to study work. So for example, we are going to say that we should not neglect what has been happened in the past. We should study them in scientific way, the old traditions, and then apply according to the new development and experimenting new techniques in that particular situation, then only we can save human energy and time and also reduce the wastage that is going to happen. So now we will move forward to our next principle, that is harmony, not discord. This completely means that there should be a healthy relationship between the management and the workers, because the aim of both is to achieve organizational goals. So it implies that there should be mental evolution on part of managers and workers in order to respect each other's role and eliminate any conflict to realize organizational objective. Now we can take one example. Suppose most business organizations sale executive receive incentive on sales along with their fixed salary. So in this way managers are motivated to increase the sale of the company because they are rewarded, they are getting a reward in return. So simply we can say that manager should have to do something, whether by recognizing them, by increasing their status in the society, by promoting them, or by giving them non-financial and financial incentive, so that they feel that what they are doing good and they are doing at their best. So there should be a harmony relationship between the management and worker, and it happens when both will work together. Now the next one is corporation not individualism. Corporation not individualism means it is an extension of the principle of harmony not discord. There should not be complete cooperation between the labor and management instead of individualism. Constructive suggestions from employees must be encouraged and workers from going on strike and making unreasonable demand. So according to Taylor, there should be an almost equal division of work and responsibility between workers and management. Management must work almost side by side with the workers, helping, encouraging, and smoothing the way for them. So this method says that there should cooperation between the workers and the management, means workers should also give suggestions to the management, and if the suggestions are good and are healthier for the environment, the management should follow them so that they can create a good relationship, and in this not an individual is getting the charm for that. Our next principle is a development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. It implies taking actions for the development of competency of all persons of an organization after their scientific selection and assigning work suited to their temperament and abilities. This will increase the productivity by utilizing the skills of the workers fully. So in this, Taylor says that business must follow scientific approach while selecting their workforce and providing them appropriate training. This will also ensure greater efficiency, productivity, and prosperity for both employees and organization. So for implementing your scientific method in a successful manner, it must be done with the help of workforce which is having suitable mental, physical, and intellectual capabilities. So we should appoint and we should develop by giving them in training sessions for their work, for their duties, which can take out the greatest efficiency out of them. So now we have discussed the Taylor scientific principle who has a strong belief that for maximum efficiency and productivity, a business must follow scientific methods of production. Taylor used scientific approach to fulfill his responsibilities in different positions he held in various organizations, which has been developed with the experience. So these principles are very important for running a healthy and a successful organization. So I have given you one activity which you can do with the help of magazine, annual reports, newspaper or internet, and you have to find out the changes that has been taking place in companies relating to corporate governance, production practices, and you have to make a report for the same. You can take any two companies and you can show a report showing a comparison between both and how they are surviving with all these factors. So now we will move to the techniques of scientific management. There are 8 techniques which are followed for the supremacy and successful implementation of these 4 principles. These are the techniques which has been studied by them so that we can make our organization very successful. So these are functional foremanship, standardization and simplification of work, method study, differential piece wage rate system, fatigue study, time study and motion study. So we will discuss each of them, but in this week we are going to discuss the first one, that is functional foremanship. So it is a technique in which planning and execution are separated. So supervision is divided into several specialized functions. Each function is to be entrusted to a foreman. There are 8 foremen in the related process or function of production. 4 each under planning and execution who keep a watch on all workers' performance. So, in functional foremanship, there are 2 departments that are planning and organizing, under which we are going to divide. So, under factory manager, we have divided 2 in charges. One is planning in charge, other is production in charge. And under them, we have again 4 main foreman heads. Like in planning, we have instruction card clerk, route clerk, time and cost clerk, disciplinary in charge. In production, we have speed boss, gang boss, a repair boss and inspector. So this is the functional foreman technique in which we are going to divide the planning and production process, so it become easier for a manager to keep a check over or supervision on each one of them. So he has divided the managers into 2 main parts, like planning and production in charge. After that, they have again the subheads as a foremans. So first we are going to discuss the planning in charge, who are assisted by 4 personals. So first one is instruction card clerk, who is for drafting instructions for worker. His main job is to draft instruction, that how they have to work for their foremans. Then come route clerk to specify the production route. Now the route clerk lay down production route, that how the production is going to happen in the whole process. Then comes time and cost clerk for preparing time and cost sheet. Now the time and cost clerk will see that how much time has been conducted and how much work they have to do on that particular cost. Then disciplinary in charge. In this, for maintaining discipline in the factory, his work is to see that no one is doing any extra activity and doing their work properly. Then we move forward to our production in charge. The production in charge, first foreman is speed boss, who is going to ensure timely and accurate completion of work. His duty is to check that the job is going to complete on time and it is accurate. Then we goes to gang boss. He is responsible to keep machines and tools ready for operation. His job is to keep all the machines accurate and tools ready for the next operation. As the day work and he has to keep all the tools on their places and check the machinery that no harm is done to that and it is ready for the next day. Then comes repair boss. He is responsible for keeping the machines and tools in the proper conditions. Now he has to check that they are in working condition. If any tool need replacement, he has to do that or repair the machinery on time. The last one is inspector. He is responsible to check and maintain the quality of work. So in this, the last one is the inspector. When the product is ready or the finished good is ready, he has to check that the quality of work is maintained, the quality of good has been maintained, and he has to check it on regular intervals of time. So next one is standardization and simplification of work. It refers to developing standards for every business activities to maximize output, whereas simplification refers to eliminating unnecessary varieties, sizes and grades of products or services. It results in saving cost of labor, machines and tools. It leads to fuller utilization of equipment and increases its turnover. So it says that standardization is to produce the product of good quality at a proper interval of time, and we have to see the standardization which we are offering to our customers. So for today our topic is over, and under that you can see there is one assignment. You have to make your notes, you have to read these assignments and do the questions which has been given to you. And in addition, we are giving a revision worksheet of chapter 1. For this you can take a reference from your previous notes. Just go through the previous chapter and then do the revision worksheet which I have given to you below. And if there is any problem, you can go to your previous notes and you can take help from those notes. So students, for today's topic is over. I will come back to you again on next week. So enjoy. All the best. Goodbye.